Hey guys, welcome back to the Accessible Music Theory for Guitarists video series. This is going to be lesson 4. If you haven't had a chance to go check out the first 3 videos yet, please do that because this video will probably make no sense at all unless you've watched the other ones, specifically lessons 2 and 3. Those are going to be really important. It might not even be a bad idea to just go back and do a quick review of those 2 before going forward with this one. So, in the last 2 videos, we have talked about 2 different ways to play C major scale. We played it on the 5th string, starting from C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. And then we did the same scale, same set of notes, but we started it from E, which is the 3rd of the scale, and we started on the 4th string. So that sounded like this: E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and E. Right? For today's session, we're actually going to take those 2 scales, those two versions of the same scale, really, and we're going to put them together and play them at the same time. So, let's take a look. Okay, so just one more quick refresher on those 2 scale shapes that we talked about in lessons 2 and 3. So the C major scale, starting on the 5th string from the root note, which is C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. All right, and then in lesson 3, we covered the same scale, but starting from the 3rd on the 4th string, which is E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to play both of those scales at the same time. Okay, so I've got my C here, the root note from the 5th string scale, and I've got the E here, that 3rd of the scale, all right, on the 4th string. I'm going to play those simultaneously, all right? Now, each of these notes is going to move up on the same string to the next available note in the scale. So, for example, C is going to move up to D, and E is going to move up to F. So we go from C and E to D and F. All right, I'll do that one more time. So here's C and E, and then D and F. All right. Now, at this stage, it doesn't really matter if you play these notes harmonically, meaning that they play them at the same time, like that, like it played as a little 2-note chord, or if you play them melodically, as in 1 note at a time, like that. Either one of those 2 ways is going to be perfectly fine for the moment, so do whichever one makes the most musical sense to you. All right, so let's go through these. We'll go through each one of these here. So again, C and E. So in this, the C moves up to D, the E moves up to F. So C and E to D and F. All right. Now from here, the D is going to move up to E, and the F over here is going to move up to G. So we go from D and F to E and G. Okay. So now we have C and E, D and F, E and G. All right. Now the next one, the E that's here is going to move up to F, and it just moves a half step, right? And then the G here is going to move up to A right there. So we go from E and G to F and A. Okay? So let's go through those again. So C and E, D and F, E and G, F and A. The F here on the 5th string is going to move up to the G. The A is going to move up to the B. So F and A, G and B. Okay? So we'll keep going. G is going to move up to A, and B is going to move up to C. So we go from G and B to A and C. All right, just a couple more here. So we get A and C. The A is going to move up to B. The C is going to move up to D. So we go from A and C to B and D. And now this is the last one. The B goes to C, and the D goes to E. So B and C, excuse me, B and D to C and E. All right, so I'll go through all those again. C and E, D and F, E and G, F and A, G and B, A and C, B and D, and back to C and E again. All right. Now, a few more things I want to talk about here. One thing you might notice is that there's actually only 2 different shapes that are happening here. You've got this one here where the notes are only 1 fret apart from each other, okay? And then the other shape you're going to see is this one here where there's a fret in between the 2, okay? They're 2 frets apart from each other. That is definitely significant, and that's something that we're going to talk about a lot more as we start to get into kind of fuller versions of these chords a little bit down the line. For now, it's just a good thing to notice. So as I mentioned in the last video, I wouldn't recommend you kind of think, you know, too much in terms of shapes here. Like, oh, I do this shape, and then I do the one fret in between, and then I have another one fret in between. That way of thinking is going to be more detrimental in the long run. So rather than really actively paying attention to those shapes, I would just encourage you to just kind of notice them. Like, oh, okay, yeah, oh, I see, that's that same shape again. Okay, cool. Oh, look, there's that same shape again. But you're thinking more about the actual pitches that are in these little 2-note chords rather than the shape. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. One other thing you can do, because this step in the process, when I've done this with my students in the past, this step does tend to be the trickiest one for most people. Most people can kind of make their way through the C major scale on one string, you know, no big deal. Same thing with the E, the C major scale starting from E, I should say. When we get to this point where we're doing both of them simultaneously, it can be a lot to juggle, you know, mentally. There's a lot going on there. So a couple things you can do that may help, and if these help you, great. If not, that's fine. You know, do whatever works for you, whatever way you're able to arrive at that end result, you know, while still being able to name all the notes that are going on there. So one thing that I found that can kind of help is if I'm going from here, from C and E, and I want to go to D and F, what I might kind of do is actually play a little melodic sequence here. So the C goes to D, the E goes to F, C and E, D and F. Too many letters flying around. Okay, let's do that one more time. So C and E, okay, the C goes to D, the E goes to F, C, E, D, F. Okay, I'll do it one more time. C and E, C goes to D, E goes to F, C and E, D and F. Okay, now you do the same thing starting in the next one. So from here, the D goes to E, the F goes to G, D, E, F, G, like that, D and F, E and G. Okay, same kind of thing here. So the E goes to F, the G goes to A, so E, F, G, A, E and G, F and A. All right, so I'll just run through that whole sequence going up the neck. So again, starting here. Okay, so that's that same sequence we were just talking about, but just going all the way up through. So that may help you to see it a little bit better, because now instead of just kind of thinking of it as, you know, 2 different chords, you can kind of see the little melodic connection there, etc. Okay. So that's pretty much it on that one. So again, once you're able to get through that comfortably, which may take a little bit more time than you had to spend on the first 2 segments of this. So don't be concerned if that's the case. That's pretty normal. But once you're able to not only just play these shapes like we were mentioning, but also be able to, okay, that's C and E, D and F, E and G, F and A, G and B, A and C, B and D, and C and E. Okay. Once you're able to do that consistently, and you can really see those 2 scales moving up the strings together, then you are all set on this one. You're ready to move on to the next lesson. So keep working on that, and I'll see you soon for lesson 5.